Yo, 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 what's poppin'? It's me. It's your modder. Can't say your boy, it's too gross. Also, I don't know what's happening with my hair. I guess I didn't tie it back properly. But here we are, doing another mod stream. I've completely lost count by this point about how many in a row we are at. But we're keeping it going. We're keeping the dream alive. So I finally went in and, as promised, I did not forget this time to edit the stream settings. So I've lowered the quality CRF, which will hopefully improve the amount of buffering it occasionally forces users through, without being too drastic of a reduction in actual quality for the people who weren't having any problems in the first place. I myself will look at this afterwards, but if you happen to be watching and you see like you have a problem reading text or something where you didn't before, or there's some other issue, let me know so that I can take steps to fix it up. I won't be able to do it for this exact stream, but the very next one may see some more tweaks after I take a look at the sample size of this entire video. So that's pretty much where we go from there, but it should help with like the keyframe interval got reset and the CRF is a little bit more manageable now. So you should see a general improvement in overall like playback in theory. We can hope anyway. And I guess maybe I'll notice a slight performance improvement in programs that I'm using, since I'm not using as much performance on OBS. But I don't think my hardware was ever taxed to the point of no return anyway, so should be pretty solid. I could also stream in 60 FPS, but I feel like that would counteract the whole idea of not trying to destroy people's ability to buffer or whatever, ability to actually stream the content. So we'll leave that to one side for now. I did configure my 60 FPS streaming profile though, and I did some other junk on the side to configure some stuff for the other recording profiles. And personally, I don't mind doing either 30 or 60 FPS games or streams rather, but if the game itself doesn't play at a 60 FPS or higher frame rate, then there's not really much of a reason to record it or stream it in 60 FPS. That would be like Starcraft stuff will remain 30 FPS just because the game itself runs at 24 FPS. You don't get anything by increasing it, the frame rate. Nothing tangible, really. Maybe you get like more frames of my face or something, but even I think this camera is only 15 frames per second, so I do need another webcam at some point. But anyway, we're talking shit about that stuff and, talking about quality, talking about the streaming environment and the things that go into it behind the scenes. I should close my window so that you guys have a reasonable soundstage. So one sec. Okay. All right, so now that that's out of the way, hopefully I won't melt, as happened before. And yeah, I'm sitting here staring at Photoshop. I guess I should figure out what exactly I'm going to be doing. So I think there's a couple of new Protoss units that I still want to add, even though I just added 2 yesterday. Because I want to add at least one more mechanical, like robotic unit for the sorry, just checking something. The idea that I'm having is that there should probably be a tier 2 robotics production, similar to the Grand Library being a tier 2 gateway, or a tier up gateway, and then there's a tier up Stargate, the Argosy. So there certainly could be something like that, I think. We could call it the Robotics Authority. And I was thinking of renaming the Robotics Facility into Robotics Assembly, but I'm not sure. Technically, we have an assembly, nanite assembly, but it's just that, like, science facility, robotics facility, so I don't know. Anyway, there are a few graphics that I still could convert from Five Nations, and I feel like some of them would actually assist or be useful in certain respects. So if I go to Sil, that's unit 08 is what I'm thinking of. So I'll grab that. Did I already extract this? I did not. So we'll paste this here. And then we'll just go ahead and edit this in Notepad++. And this does happen sometimes. I don't know why Notepad++ can't open the file. Like it'll open the file if I have the program already maximized, but if I have the program minimized, or sometimes if I have the program like not launched at all, and I right click and hit open in Notepad++, it sometimes does break everything, so it's pretty annoying. So I'm looking for Sil unit 08. It's called labor. I don't know about that one. Let's take a look. All right, so this one does appear to have worked. Pretty cool. I'm not so sure that I'll be able to recolor this to make it look like the gold trim approach of the Protoss, but I want to give it a shot. It's just that I have a feeling it will look kind of cruddy. What's up, dude? Nice debug value. Guess it's a good thing I don't need it immediately, because that's pretty epic. All right, so awesome. Very nice. Jesus Christ. What's up, Mutas Dozen? This looks like a stalker from XCOM. Well, I don't know anything about that because I have never played XCOM. But that's okay. I will nod and say, I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much every single one of the graphics that you see from Five Nations is obviously inspired by some other, what's it called? Some other game or media. Not too many original ideas rolling around in these guys' heads, as far as I can tell. What's up, Iquare? Yeah, I've had AI script limit reached for literally every HYDRA script that, even without the preprocessor stuff, so we should just raise the limit so that we don't have to worry about that, rather than trying to kowtow to Blizzard's shit code and stupid limitations. Why is that only there for one of them? Like where we can't actually have content that functions without removing these limitations. So if you want something playable, you're going to have to, unfortunately. It's okay. We'll work on it together. Honestly, it can't be that difficult. Oh, I gotta catch up with some of these chat limits. Hold on. You need breakfast? Yeah. There you go. What behaviors do I intend for the golem and the idol? I don't think they need behaviors. They're already fully implemented. If you need a fed unit converted, just ask. Otherwise, I probably won't be converting anything in particular. Unless I find a use for it. I'm only converting stuff that I would use, so. As is natural. As was for Todd. There's going to be a lot of micromanaging for this one because it's kind of wonky. I was reminded of the existence of Dawn of War 3 today, and holy moly, what a game. Just as like a spectacle, it's really interesting to me because that's a game where it pissed everybody off in terms of the people who were fans of the earlier Dawn of War games. Because Dawn of War 2 wasn't an RTS, and Dawn of War 1 was barely an RTS, but even despite the similarity of them both not being RTS games, they had very different gameplay loops. And so to see a game that's like trying to both capitalize on the existing fan base by like mixing and matching elements from both games and also trying to be like a MOBA or something, and capitalize on the presence of like Starcraft 2 and other shit. It was a real like entertaining train wreck or car crash or whatever you would call something like that, in my opinion. Well, they have like built-in synergy with other units. So, like if you look at their robotics, so they have that obvious benefit of the simulacrum passive. They generally are going to have higher shield counts than other units, which means they benefit more from what's it called, the Clarion. So, like generally speaking, there's just more about the units that it's less about a dedicated passive and more about like statistic or unit flags or properties or whatever. But they have their own like bit of interest. Just the fact that like, for example, one of them is a frontline tanking unit, right? And another is more like ranged unit that has, I think the idol actually has something that borders on a passive behavior. I think it's just the fact that they deal that hit scan splash damage and stuff. That's pretty like, oh, it's the fact that their splash affects air units and ground units at the same time, which isn't really like a passive. That's just a default behavior of some splash attacks. But in the default game, that doesn't exist in very many places. Like Archons do it, I guess, but you get the idea. There's depth to the unit that isn't prescribed with a passive. Some units will be like that. Like, not every unit needs to have its own dedicated custom behavior or whatever to positively interact with the surrounding areas. For example, any melee unit is automatically more positional than a non-melee unit in a way, because any melee unit can be kited and so on. So, like, there's ways to interact with them that you don't have with other with ranged units. So there's already that gap in terms of what connects them all. I have no idea what you're talking about by some strange reads on attacked AI Marines. I have no assets for anything that's marked as not implementing, unless it's something that we already had implemented but we cut for some reason. I haven't even bothered trying. Like, that's a unit that you pretty much can't you can't do anything to without a custom art asset. Okay, but what units were you attacking with them? Or what units were you attacking them with? Sorry, I fucked up my English. Yeah, this is a weird one. I'm not sure where to go with this. This frame set in particular is the one that gets the most fucked up, it seems. Okay, I already did it for those. Yeah, I know exactly what that is. I mean, I don't know why it's happening, but I know what that read is. That's the High Templar read. The Psi Mastery read. I'm pretty sure, anyway. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I know what it is. It's not that at all. That read is from it is the same graphic, but I know where it's causing it. It's Astral Blessing for some reason is proccing every single time. Well, stacks must be incrementing, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure why it would affect the Marine. I mean, we can get rid of Astral Tempest. It's not there anymore. But yeah. So if the player ID is not the same as the units that are found by the unit finder in the proc, and they're also not allied, then it should return immediately. So basically, this is like if it's an enemy. Now it imgulls the sprite, right? And then I think this is not necessary. This should also be down here, in my opinion. Just to be more explicit about it. Shield enabled. Now this is for Astral Tempest, but I think this should be for Astral Blessing, so this should just be Ecclesiast, presumably. Oh wait, I think this is no, this is for that is right, because it's setting the timer for the speed buff on hit, so we can just get rid of that because that's no longer part of the unit. All right, I'll test it after that to see what happens. Basically, it's just like faulty code check or something. The culprit is me putting it together in a very sleepy fashion, that's all. There's a lot of frame sets for this guy. Wow, there are a lot of frame sets for this guy. Holy moly. I grossly underestimated this one, boys. I'm gonna just deselect everything that I don't want, and we'll take it as it is, I think. Yeah, that's the ascendancy. It used to be called Psi Mastery, so I called it that by mistake. No. Nether Core is fine the way it is. It just needs its new passive, that's all. This is going to be a Protoss unit, but... Not sure what other Protoss units I can throw in for them. I think maybe there can be like one other that I add in here. Honestly, Synthetic Synod might be the name of the new production structure. I don't know. But I could just call it Robotics Authority like I initially was planning on. Although I still have to figure out what graphic I'm going to use for the next robotics one. I just got to double check the back half of the images here, and then we'll be in pretty good shape, I think. Stuff like this gotta go. What gets me is that sometimes, even though these are supposed to be like identical copies or whatever, sometimes you'll get one of these here. Like on one of the duplicate frames, you'll have a pixel. And on the other, you might not. Very confusing stuff. All right. I think we already did this area, so we're good here. Okay. Why does it have to be called Stalker in XCOM, dude? What a shitty name for a unit. Just saying. I don't even know how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We got 20. 340 frames, by the way. I'm not sure. It seems like the bottom... I can't tell if they're all actually supposed to be there. I don't... It's really hard to know. Okay, so we'll leave that there. Oh, I was supposed to actually export that into a more reasonable thing, so that's pretty goofy. All right, close that one out. Golf cart, by the way. I do feel somewhat like I absolutely need the golf cart, but... I'm not even sure if this graphic will be useful, because... Well, let's just say... Not sure how well it'll play with the transparency thing. Might have to play around with its fill or something. Space roach? No, this is some kind of worker. I don't know. Or I assume it's like a light fighter or something, but I don't know if it would even be useful. Ah, Robo Whale. Everybody's favorite. Ah, yes, the classic. This one I could use as like a hovercraft or something, so. Absorber. What a gross name, honestly. Ah, barely has any team color at all. Well, you can't let that bring your motivation down. You're still going to be putting out something that is head and shoulders above most other released content, I think, if not all other fully complete released content. It's one of the reasons why I'm more focused on the mod stuff for HYDRA, because I look at it as an opportunity to continue improving the game state and demonstrating that you can do a lot with relatively like robust but not extravagant map design, and letting this like even having a lot of the story characterization or whatever happen through gameplay and stuff. Like that's what Deliverance is going to be about. It's mostly going to be about exploring HYDRA's tech, which is why I'm spending so much time on it. I wonder why their team color is always so stupid. Yeah, I want that to also be the case, though. Like, I view that as a win, as like a successful aspect, you know? Like, I think that's a good thing. Because essentially it convinces I think anyway. It'll convince people that tech tree customization is really important, not something that should be slept on. Like, I already felt that way when I was playing through the default campaigns for the Starcraft playthrough, and now I'm sure it would feel the same, like even worse in many respects. Just on the because of the fact that there's so many more options available now than there were when I was recording that, because I've added so much stuff since then. Veek was telling me yesterday that, like, he was asking me like if I had plans for certain things, and I remember I was explaining to him my thought process behind the extra robotics structure for Protoss, and he was like, "You're talking about adding a fourth production structure?" And I was like, "Well, there's already 5, so no, I'm talking about adding a 6th." And he's like, "What?" Like, he was very taken aback by just how many things had changed. So I thought that was kind of funny. Just gotta add in this one more piece here. So I guess Veek has made it so that you can create extended entries and save them, but you can't load them or something like that. Like, he's still working on the code for that stuff. So with any luck, we'll see that done soon, because that'll be really. I can't wait to get to the point where I can actually add like custom unit responses, custom sounds for attacks and deaths and stuff. It's going to be big when I can do that more freely. Instead of Rainer on Feltroop, play will be greeted by Southpaw. I should do like a meme version of the campaign or something where I do really quick stuff, like the first map begins with you, like you go there to find Rainer, and instead of Rainer, it's just it's a like 3 Southpaws, and they're like, "Hey man," and then there's a Zerg, like a default Zerg melee AI from HYDRA running in the background, and you just get fucking slaughtered or something. When I say I should make that, by the way, I'm actually saying that would be disgusting. But you know what I mean. So we've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18 times 17. 306. Not the Gorgoleths, no! Yeah, unfortunately, I think the campaign just wouldn't work at all out of the box. I mean, it's not really that unfortunate, I guess, but you know how it is. Wow! Hmm. Pretty generic name, but I'll figure something out else later. So I'm thinking right now we've got shuttle observer, vassal simulacrum, reaver, idle golem. So that's 7 units. Right? I don't think I'm missing any. Clarion, obviously. So we're adding 2 more, which brings us up to 10. We could do an even split of 5 to 5, in which case we would want, I think that the facility, keeping in mind that the facility will be the cheaper option of the two, the robotics facility versus the robotics authority is going to be cheaper. So the authority will be more expensive, maybe in a minor way, but the other thing is that it'll probably be bigger than the robotics facility, so it'll be more expensive in terms of build space if you quantify that as a resource. So taking that as a given, right? Bearing that in mind, I'm trying to figure out which units should be trained at which structure. And I think that I have to bear in mind that if I put something on the cheaper structure, I have to use that as a balancing lever because that does affect how common it will be. So I generally think that the swarming units generally ought to be on the facility, whereas the authority can be the larger units and that sort of thing. Now the question is whether or not to put the Reaver on the authority, because that would essentially mandate going through an extra step in order to deploy the authority, in order to deploy the Reaver. This synthetic synod, which was previously the robotics support bay, could be eschewed as a tech requirement if the Reaver was to be built at the authority. It could be that the authority can produce the Reaver and maybe 1 or 2 other units by default as soon as you get it, but it must be produced at that unit, at that structure. So given the fact that the golem is like meant to be this tank, this kind of a more on the side of a lumbering, like hulking unit, frontliner, I think it's fine to put that on the authority, and I also think it's fine to eschew any tech requirement for it. The Reaver might also be put on there, but just moving the golem over there, we still have on the robotics facility as of the current moment, Clarion, shuttle observer. Those are like the utility units, right? And then we have vassal simulacrum and idle. Now, I can see an argument for keeping the idle on the facility. But if we do that, we should still move, like we're moving 2 units over to the authority, right? And so maybe we move the Reaver after all. And then we would have to move 1 other unit. Now the question becomes, do we move, like the idle could be moved to the authority because it's like a bigger and more self-sufficient unit, or it could move over there for the express purpose of we could move the Clarion over there for the sake of like gating their ability, because I do think they will be very powerful. The only problem that I have with that is if we move the Clarion to the authority, well, maybe that is okay, but I do worry that maybe that would gate them too heavily, because now you need a more expensive and larger production structure to build them, and you need to wait until you hit tier 2 of the, or tier 3 of the support branch of the robotics branch. So we're talking robotics facility into observatory into strident stratum, and then you still after that need a robotics authority in order to deploy Clarions. In that sense, I could just drop their gas cost. I could drop some other part of their cost, generally speaking, and attenuate it based on that. But I would expect this change to make Clarions relatively niche. I could also make it so that the Strident Stratum is not a requirement, but then we have 3 units that you can build by default at this advanced production structure, leaving me with the Strident Stratum and Synthetic Synod to restrict, I guess, the Barghest and the Trident, which are the 2 new units that would be deployed at the authority. So I'm not sure how to feel about that. I also don't even know if the Trident will be deployed after all, because the unit appears to be like a supportive type unit. We already have that in the Clarion, so I'm not sure if we need another unit like that, but at the very least, I know the Barghest has a place in the game, and that will, its utility and its power will warrant the fact that it requires the authority, but it's also going to be a cheap unit to produce. So it's like a swarmer from the authority in a way. Although, it'll be quite a volatile sense. I also think that what I will probably try to do is I will try to implement some additional behaviors that play on the robotic flag for the sake of increasing the interoperability of the various units. But I'm not sure. I don't think I'll be adding any to existing units. I think it'll just be something that happens with these 2 units that I'm adding now. It could be that I add some behavior like that to the idle, but I don't think it is super necessary right now. So we'll say Barghest. Hmm. See, all of the ideas I have for this are really complicated, so I don't really know. Could just be a damage over time, but that's hard to like parse as a player. So I think what I'll probably do instead is a simple explosion. Hmm. What's up, dark matter? 30 minutes to do nothing else. Sounds like 30 minutes to get some work done, dude. What are you up to? Saw you were working on some iScript stuff, so must be getting something done. Hmm. I have to rework Archons a little bit too, I think, but I'm not sure if it'll be feasible to do that just yet. I wonder if there will be like an ultimate robotics unit at some point. I don't really think I have an asset for it, unfortunately. Wait, where's my other folder? Here we go. Oh shit! Hey, this could be cool. I guess as a hovercraft of sorts. Mask. Mask. That's the unit name. These names are embarrassing, dude. Ridiculous. I think he's just doing it for his own sake, like learning stuff. I can't say I have a lot of love for its code base and its limitations. But, you know, it is the best for what that's worth. Just to me, it feels like the game achieved a certain amount of success without it being intentional, I guess, you know? Which, it is what it is. Nothing crazy. Nothing I never seen before. I just wish there were other RTS games that could even hold a candle. You know what I mean? It would be nice to have other examples of high quality products out there. Base layouts and specific calls for certain expansions. Create script, basically. Or write your own AI expansion command like we've been looking for a while. We need a custom command if possible anyway, just for the sake of being able to tell the AI to not take every distant expansion on the map. I'm not really... The thing is, like, if it's within 12 tiles of their main or something, they'll just ignore it because there's a building in the way. It's a really stupid thing that Blizzard did to make them that way. So that basically makes certain melee maps completely untenable for the AI, which is obviously pretty stupid. Interestingly enough, this graphic has 32 facing directions. Pretty nice. All right, get out of here. Only now just realizing I missed all those SMH. Some new graphics were uploaded earlier today on Stardit, and like clockwork, wireframes soon followed. That was pretty epic. I'm not sure if I can use any of them, but there is like a ghost graphic there that I might be able to use as the apostle. I haven't taken a super close look at it yet. Star Wars droid gunship, this one? I haven't looked at those in so long, so I don't immediately see it, but I was just saying earlier because like there was another graphic that I converted earlier today that Mutas Dozen was in here, and he was saying that it looked like something from XCOM. Took me a second to remember. I've never played XCOM, so I don't know, but like I said to him, it would not surprise me to find out that all of this shit was just grabbed wholesale, or you know, concepts or whatever were taken, and even if it's not deliberate cloning of the idea, it's, you know, people get influenced by all sorts of stuff that they may not be immediately cognizant of. But also, welcome, Beaver. I figured it was melee style AI, Queer, but the only way to make it so that they work with distant expansions as you intend them to is to prescribe that information to them, or to write a new function that will behave better than the automatic function that Blizzard currently, that Blizzard wrote and that we're still using. So unless you want to write your own expansion logic command, which would be super useful for everybody, there's no way to do it other than prescribing that information. Thankfully, there's not so many frames in this graphic that it absolutely needs to... Like, it just ends up being impossible for me to actually edit. It's a dangerous game, grabbing, like, any last pixel using the Magic Wand tool. But I'll do it anyway. It's probably the, like, a damage overlay gone wrong that happens to me every now and then. So I would check whatever buildings you've added recently. It's really funny because even when nobody else is using the HYDRA repos or whatever that I have for GitLab over here, it's actually still pretty useful. If I'm starting to encounter a crash, I just go back and see what files have been modified, because oftentimes I forget. Is there a difference between a melee map and a campaign map? Do you mean like on a design or like philosophical level or whatever? Or are you saying like what differences would you... Should there be any differences in the design of them? I think melee maps are generally better served if they are symmetrical in some way, which doesn't mean they have to be one-to-one symmetrical where every player has the same things, but I think generally every team should have roughly the same stuff if it's a melee map. But aside from trying to have a relatively fair playing field, the differences are that melee maps are mostly dedicated to competitive play and not the exploration of a world or a story or anything like that. Which is not to say you can't explore world building or elements of storytelling through the avenue of a melee map. It's just that since that's not its primary focus, there would be more of a concern about making sure that there are no inalienable advantages based on terrain for one player over another, and less of a concern of whether or not any particular advantages would come into contact with one player or another, or would benefit or harm one player or another for the sake of storytelling. Whereas in a campaign environment, there's plenty of cases where you'll have some pre-placed units or some very obvious terrain advantage or disadvantage in certain areas, or have one player that has a smaller rush distance between another. Like there could be 3 AIs again that are close to one enemy, and those 3 are all in the same team, and like that can be an element of it. Like there's tons of different things that can change depending on the what you're actually doing there. I don't think they became almost the same, but most people have not made campaign maps lately is the thing, so. Yeah, Bargist is the space squid. I kind of like how the Protoss tech tree has like Templar units are all ground units. Air Stargate units are like stellar units are all air units, and then robotics is that weird hodgepodge where you've got air and ground. And then like you look at Terrans, it's bio is all infantry. I guess the shaman kind of muddies the water since that's a mechanical unit, but like mostly infantry focus, and then obviously mechanical stuff from the factory. But then you go into like air, and that's all air right from Starport. So like they're more straightforward in that respect. There's a little bit less like blurring the lines. Significantly less, I would say, compared to Protoss. But then in Zerg, it just all goes to shit because like you could morph a ground unit into an air unit. You could morph like, you know, it's all between the units themselves and stuff. So I really like that. There's that. In some ways, it's like some areas it's kind of subtle, but Apostle ability is instant cast or point click. No, it's around the apostle itself. So you press it, and all units nearby are injected. So it's instant cast. Will people still make campaigns after November 3rd? Probably. But I don't think it'll be anybody in our community. People might make like, what's it called? Proofs of concept or tech demos or anything like that. Somehow that made my glasses dirtier. Hmm. What would be really nice is if we could change auto vitality for the simulacrums to increase shields or something like that instead of increasing attack speed and movement speed. Because then I would make the Bargus passive do that for like the attack speed and movement speed, but I'm not sure what else I should do. Ah, there's a void mine. Forgot about this thing. Why? Oh, it's deployed. That's stupid. Golf cart. Installator. That's gross, dude. Don't ever say installator. Well, after the 3rd of November, the map crap full toilet thing will be over, and we'll be starting on new engine development. So I assume that's what Icor is talking about. Yes, most large I think every large graphic and some small graphics have 32 facing directions and do not need to be duplicated. So probably about half of the units in the game don't need to be duplicated. That's something I told you at the very beginning when I was talking about the specifications of the script. Yeah, I think at least half of the unit graphics in the game have 32 facing directions. So, like this one here that I'm editing right now has that many, where every single frame is unique. Somebody was real lazy when they were doing the team color on these graphics. Is that going to cause another head bandage? I wonder why there's just random pixels down there. That's probably not supposed to be there. SMA. I like when I download or try to download a file that's been deleted, because the only way I would be able to do that is through ripcord. Like I click on a file that was deleted or whatever, where the message was deleted, and just says access denied or like forbidden or something. Very dramatic. Yeah, I figured that's all you would need to do is ask the user, because I'll know what's going on with that. Ask the you. I mean, you basically are just asking me every time anyway, so. I don't think anybody else uses the script, but it definitely saved me a lot of time with a Wendigo, though. Like, holy moly, that would have been a pain in my ass. So as usual, mucho queso, my man. Oops. All right, return to that later, if necessary. Psycho Spinner. Ah, yes, of course. I could definitely turn that into a Protoss unit. I think that was a unit I tried to convert and it didn't work. Void Server. Amazing. It's the Targos. Wendigo. Hell yeah. Science Dome. True. I don't even know what unit iQuare wants me to convert from the Federation at this point. I think I've converted literally everything besides the nuke, I guess. Like I have the Capitalist done. Oh, I never finished reconverting the Stealth Fighter, but that has like a work in progress one. I guess I never did the cargo ship or the 2 long ships or the freighter. But I don't know why he would need those. Or if he does, he hasn't told me. Snail. Spinner drone. I think it's fine to default to 16. Most of the graphics that have problems seem to have 16 facing directions. Hmm. Doesn't appear to be working right out the gate. Oh. All right, so I'm going to take a quick break, get the, use the bathroom, get some more water, that sort of thing. When I come back, I will be continuing the graphic hunt for one more Protoss unit. And a Protoss robotics unit, that is. I'll also be looking for a unit that can, a graphic rather, that I can use for the what's it called? You know what I'm talking about. The Robotics Authority. But presumably I don't have anything that would fit the bill. I'm not sure yet. Jump real quick before I jump out of here. I'm gonna check this. Oh, okay. I can't use that for transparency reasons. Hey, DF, quick question for you before I BRB. Would you think that there would be a way to somehow rip the green pixels from this image? Like the over what is the visual effect? Rip that and render it using the G-Fire or something to, I guess it would be like B-Fire or BEXPIL, to make it an actual effect. I assume it would be impossible to actually separate the effect from the like the pad and like the background or whatever. I guess you could create a mask, but I'm not sure how reliable it would be. Especially since the base of it rotates. I can convert it and send it your way if you feel like taking a look at it after. But, yeah. I feel like it would be a tough... Well, that's not what I wanted to open. I feel like it would be a tough one. Mass transmitter, by the way. Okay. Now I'll BRB for real. So BRB. Shit, guys, I missed out on All right, let me try that again. Shit, guys, I missed out on an opportunity to become famous. It's a real sad state of affairs. So that's weird. I'm not sure if there's like a different instance or something. What is this technically called in processes? Well, the process name is HYDRA beta, I think, but it might be Starcraft. Let me see. Ah! Okay, not quite. Did it just break my OBS as well? Nope. Okay, we're back. Glad they fixed that bug. But I'm not sure why making it work on enter wouldn't work there. It also doesn't seem to have like somehow it's creating a new ID, which doesn't make any sense to me because that's the only way you would get to the point where you're creating a new ID would be with N, I guess. So I guess I can make a 50 in between every single event as a test, even though that shouldn't be necessary. And it's still not playing it. How the fuck does it manage to do that? I really don't get that at all. And it's really weird that it breaks on the windowed mode thing. Yeah, with this it just breaks every time, unfortunately. Does it still need the exe extension? It's not working there either. Oh, I guess maybe because I'm using AHK exe as the class or something, so... I could do AHK... Well, no, because that should be process name. Yeah, it's listed as project in all capitals HYDRA. Project : space HYDRA. When I alt tab. But that's not what was working, so. So when activate window title, but in quote marks? Talking to this guy while he's responding to me on Discord in case anybody on stream is wondering what the fuck is happening. Trying to figure out this script. No, that doesn't seem to have worked. The text of the title should be listed first. Wait, what? Yeah, it might not be feasible to... I guess I'll try without quotes just in case, but... Oh, it's hitting enter and hitting no. So it is working now without quotes. But why the fuck would it hit enter? Wow! What the fuck? Is left even the right one? Why does it work differently for this script exactly? It's as if like it's not actually hitting the right stuff here somehow. Like it's not activating keyboard, list of keys. Up, down, left, right. Yeah, so left is correct. There's no need to do anything. Normally when what I do is I run the exe and I just hit enter and it works. But in cases where like if I hit left normally it goes to cancel. But there's nothing that you need to hit. Then you just SE. Apparently apparently it deleted my character names. So that's pretty cool. Oh wait, where am I? Oh wait, okay, never mind. I don't know how that was even possible. It's pretty epic. Are you sure? I was looking at the documentation and it says that this stuff... Oh, some special characters may need to be escaped or enclosed in braces. Okay. I didn't see that note. Alright, so I'll try... Well, we just won't worry about that then. Because then I guess it's hitting E, which does nothing, N, which is no. That's probably what's happening there. If that's the case, anyway. Okay. Well, it got us to here. But then I guess... it didn't do the script correctly over here somehow. I'm not sure why. Oh, it's probably Brood War then. Yeah, if we're using the same logic. Yeah. Alright, so we'll just say Brood War. Still nothing. Whoa! Oh, technically it was sending it because it was just doing insane shit. Like down, 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 down. Yeah. But I'm not sure why it wouldn't be working here. It's weird. Oops. What the fuck? Oh, the script is still running in the background, I guess. Good one. Yeah, I'm so confused. Alright, let's try that one again. Imagine all the seconds you will save you. No, that's true. So, it is just called Brood War. But it's weird because Starcraft EXE seemed to work before, and that's obviously what it is in the process. Right. So I'm wondering why... Alright, it got to S. But that was me hitting E. It took a long time to get to S, though. Way longer than 2000. And there's no other S, so... There's no other instance of that. What the fuck? Okay, well 500 is way too low, but it's working now. Epic. Okay. Or way too fat. Too much is what I meant to say there, so we'll say 100. Oh, and then it busted itself. So S, E, O, and then U needs more, so we'll try 200. I'll just convert it all to 150 instead. But this seems to have worked fine with 100 or 50 or something, so that should be okay. And then I'll drop this to a lower value as well. All right, that seems to work. I'll try it a few more times with a value of sleep 125. And this can be just 1000, I think. So it seems to break on certain transitions like this one, so you need that one to be more, it looks like. Like it's consistently breaking on the same transitions, basically. But yeah, that seems to work. Hopefully that's like consistent or whatever. I'll try dropping this now, try to min-max it. Pretty cool. I like that. I am a fan of that. We'll even try, we'll go lower to see how much we can do. Seems good so far. So I wonder if I can continue to lower the input over here to the ones, and I'm gonna just try to find wherever the faults are, just to like, again, min-maxing it, basically. That seems to have worked. Now, I'm willing to bet that I don't really need, like, when I'm going down, I probably shouldn't need any gap here. Like, if I'm going down, I probably shouldn't need nearly as much of a weight, if I had to guess. Okay. Seems like it's sometimes desyncing between here, though, so I'll boost that back up to 125, but I think 25 after down is probably fine. Oh, we went too hard. So maybe like 50 after the 50 before an enter is what I'm thinking, but we probably don't need. Whoa, okay, that was definitely not right. So maybe we do need 50 for each down, just because sometimes I think what'll happen is that if there's not enough of a delay, it won't register that you're not actually pushing the down key, so it'll think you're just holding it, is what I think is happening, because that has happened in the past with auto hotkey. It looks like we're still getting hit by it, though. Where exactly are we going that we're getting to that point? I don't even know. We're going community? No. Oh, I think we're going down to... Yeah, we're going down twice somehow, which I'm not sure how that's even feasible. Okay, seems to work. It went down twice with a shorter sleep. The longer sleep fixed it, seemingly. That is super fucking useful, honestly. Like, holy moly. I mean, I added a little bit of complexity to it. I could have just made it load in the Ash World tile set, which wouldn't have required any downs after going down to HYDRA and then down to resources. But still, like, super fucking useful. I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty cool. Very nice, very nice. Big fan. Shout out to Milestone on the Discord server for helping me out there. All right, so let's finish setting up the Barghest over here for now, and then I'll throw that stuff in there. So I'm thinking we want 4, and it'll be Flingy 287. Well, it could also be that I don't know all of the things about auto hotkey, but I would assume that there's like a case where it'll feel like the keys are being held instead of just going down. I really don't know. I mean, in that case, it shouldn't have done that, but I don't know all of the details, unfortunately. I think I was adding... Okay, 1, 1, 17. We're looking at 500. And this is 287. Okay. With the bar guest more or less taken care of here, I just need to write an iScript for it. I'm going to take a look at the Mutalisk GRP, or iScript rather, as a sample. And we're going to take a look at the shuttle death. Copy that for this. And we'll say there were 20 frame sets, by the way. So in this case, we're looking at I don't even know how many that actually is in terms of hex. So that's where I get to jump into the bar guest graphic. 143. So given that we've just done that, Let's also set up the robotics authority in here. Think we're at a position where, well, I guess it'll be 501 for the ISID for that, but other than that, I think we're good. I just need to go and actually grab a graphic for it. So we're looking at 1188 for the image ID. We'll take a look at the robotics support. I think I'll take a look at the robotics facility for the... What am I looking for? Close, PyDat, there we go. $591.8. Oh yeah, we also need to actually pick a unit ID, of course. Not actually sure which unit IDs are even available. Maybe the Protoss beacon, but I'm not sure. Let's pop open Firegraph and see what units I've got named and what units I don't. I think we've gotten everything, though. The doors are staying in just because we need them. Obviously, Dark Swarm will stay in. Yeah, we've got all of the regular beacons I can use, which I probably will. Oh, the side disruptor is apparently not in use. All right, so we'll grab this. We'll say 90. We're here for Protoss military units. I don't think any of those are staying in. I'll keep HYDRA, that might be staying in. I don't remember if I used that or not. Alright, I already added the Sanctum of Sorrow, that's good. Should be 225 though. It's an embarrassing mistake. Is it really true that I don't use the temple? I feel like I must. But maybe I left that open. Oh, looks like I left it open. Apparently the Overmind with Shell is also available for use, so I might do that as well. don't know why my mouse feels like it's being reset in terms of sensitivity. Yeah, something's definitely fucked up with it, but I don't know if it's the mouse or the mouse pad. Sorry about the background noise. People are throwing balls around and the dog is spinning. Okay, that should be fine. I don't know what is going on. I wonder if it's like the padding on the mouse bottom. Hey DF, you recommended this mouse to me, so you've already used it before. Do you know, were you ever finding that the mouse would just sometimes catch and stop, like you'd move it to the, back and forth, and sometimes it would change how far it went. Like it would almost be like you're not fully going that way, the direction that you moved the mouse. For some reason that keeps happening to me. I guess it could just be that it's getting sticky or something. I don't know, because of the heat. My mousepad is pretty recent, like not very old, so I wouldn't expect it to be that, but I don't know. And even when I'm like forcing it to, like I'm forcing the mouse down, like putting pressure on it to keep it down and then moving it, and that's also seems consistent. So really it's only like sometimes when I move it normally. I don't know why though. It's not really that big of a deal in theory, but when I'm playing video games or I'm trying to do something with precision, like clicking on stuff, can be pretty annoying. I just mean that like I'll move the mouse It doesn't feel like anything's catching when I'm like on a physical level, but I'll notice that I'll move the mouse and I'll be moving it, say like with enough movement to cross from one side of the screen to another, but the mouse will actually stop like halfway through that journey or stop short of that intended destination. I don't know why it happens. I have enhanced pointer precision, but I don't know. If that's what you're talking about. I think I've always had that though. So I should turn this off. I don't think that's what it is though. Like, oh wow, that really slowed my entire mouse speed somehow. Yeah, it moves much faster with this toggled on than it does when it's off. I don't know why though. What the fuck? That's gonna take some getting used to. But you think that's what it is? I naively thought that what it was doing was like turning off some sort of mouse fuckery. I didn't think it was actually uh, harming the experience. It's really weird. But that's what mouse smoothing is in Windows. Maybe it's like subtly snapping to certain things or whatever. Oh. Oh, so it's mouse acceleration basically. I would have thought it would have been the other way around or something. I don't know. That's really strange to me. Stupid. All right, I'm really gonna. It's like I'm on a new pair of hands right now, so this will take some getting used to, but I'll figure it out. That's weird. Yeah, well, I like that much. I'm a high sends kind of guy. I would like it to remain stable instead of it being like some sort of weird algorithmic shit. Oh boy. I'm clearly not used to it though. Holy moly. It's all right. We'll get there, man. I'll figure it out. That is whack. Okay. So besides me looking like an idiot for a little while, that'll be interesting. Oh, it's happening. It's okay. That'll lead to a more consistent experience, I hope. And if the issue doesn't go away, maybe I'll just turn it back. But for now, I haven't noticed. I can't really tell for sure, but I haven't noticed anything yet. Oh, I never got more water. God damn it. It's okay. I'll survive somehow. Oh wait, I already have these open somewhere. Oh yeah, I was actually going to use this as the next thing. As the robotics facility thing, but well, I just counteract that with having high sensitivity because I also don't really like having to move my mouse a long distance. Oh no. There we go. Holy mouse. Yeah, I guess I definitely got used to it being like that, considering I literally never knew about it. Oh, it's so awkward. What have I gotten myself into? It's okay. This is training, dude. I gotta learn how to do this. I am not sure why they felt the need to even put on a set of team color over here. I don't know what it adds besides visual confusion during the animation. But I don't feel like going in and fixing it, so... I guess it's like supposed to be part of the inner ring. Like you can see bits and pieces of it over here. So that ring must be spinning during some of the animations. Which also explains why it's not exactly consistent here. Wowee. Now that's a good one. Oh, mouse. Uh. Wow. All right. Man, I wonder how insanely different it's going to be when I play Counter-Strike. Maybe it was always off, though, because I disabled Mouse XL in that game. So I don't know if that disables it on Windows side or if Windows overrides that. 2960, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Wowie. Also known as I am very bad at being precise. Holy moly. This is not going well, ladies and gentlemen. All right, get me out of Photoshop. Okay. So, now we do what we can. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. I took one frame too many away. What the fuck? Stop screwing around with me, Photoshop. Fuck. Okay. Oh wait, I actually need to reopen that and reindex it. This is actually really uncomfortable for my hand. Oh, I know what happened. I will probably have to crop out a bit of the bottom here. I didn't even notice it until just now. But I'll probably have to crop out like this whole piece down here. That shouldn't really be that difficult though. It's like a minus 80 or something. Oh. What the fuck? So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are offset to the right by 1 frame, apparently. Okay, so now... Is my keyboard also fucked up? Like, come on, man. Well, at least we have that action saved. Can't believe I have to redo that. It's pretty annoying. Hopefully we'll have a bit better luck this time. also known as easy. Oh, wait. Boom! And it fucked up. God damn it. Try it again. There we go. Fucking load times. Ah, I didn't do an iScript for it. No wonder. $11.88. $11.89. 11.90. Oh yeah, and then we have to set it to 501. All right, well, pretty obvious it needs a bigger system here. So we'll say for its sprite, we need an image pause of like 15. Try a selection circle is 7. So we got D, A, E, S, R. Okay, and then we can do T, I guess. So we got Reaver and Clarion. We decided on keeping. Vassal's good to get removed. Observer's good to get removed. Simulacrum's good to get removed. We decided on a similar thing here. So that means that the new the other robotics authority unit, the one that I have yet to add, will be something that requires the Strident Stratum. Test map away! Hell yeah. That's pretty exciting, dude. Oh, I forgot to set up the documentation or the robotics authority as far as this goes. I accidentally did that one. Oh. I know why that's the case, though. It's because I didn't add the latest files. Try that one again. No, you goofball. Why does it keep doing that? I'm gonna need to update this script. I don't understand how it does that, man. That's so weird. All right, well, this one's worked, so. Looks like I need a bigger selection circle and for it to be lower on the ground. What the fuck is script 500? Oh, that's the bar guest. I guess. I don't know how that managed to happen. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, I guess because it... That's really goofy. All right, so now I'm going to close out all this shit. Did pretty well today thus far. How long have we been going for? Almost 3.5 hours. Would you believe it? So I'm just going to add the rally point to the Robotics Authority. And then I'm going to add... well, I'm also going to re-add it to this and get rid of the units that we're no longer using here. Okay. Easy enough. Paste as new. All right. With that out of the way, close, close. Epic. When it works, it's epic. Interesting. Definitely has some frames that are off center, unfortunately. It also like really weirdly jumps back on its own frame set. It's because of this, I think. So it's actually fixable in theory. Then the other thing that I ought to do is... Do I still have hideout open? Okay, nice. I should jump into the weapons for this because... yeah. Okay. So obviously that's going to change eventually. I don't actually know what... I would like some sort of like arcing line, but I don't know if there's anything that exists out there that would already fit that bill. It's supposed to fire 2 projectiles, so... We'll have to wait and see. But that unit is going to be very powerful and spammable. And like spammable not just in terms of like easy to grab or whatever. I'm talking like it will actually be a very cheap to produce unit, despite the fact that it's pretty powerful. It's just that it's difficult to access. So that will be the thing that sets it apart there. So let's jump into the bar guest, and we're going to make it selection circle 1, and give it like 25 for a health bar. Try that for that. We go to 190. Oops. We'll try that for its collision, or its placement and all that. And then the bar guest is 104. Even that might be too long, honestly. I'm not sure. Yeah, that seems better. Bottom seems fine. Top could go down by a couple pixels. Oh, I didn't even look at the selection circle, but I guess it probably was okay. Okay, it should go down to 21. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. I like that. We'll take it. Go to stuff this in here. Wow, good one. All right, so that's good. Let me sync the GPTP changes. Hell yeah. I'm going to go get some food myself, DF. Which means I'm done with the stream. Thanks for your help with the script, DF. Appreciate that. Thanks to that milestone guy for helping me with the auto hotkey stuff. And thanks to Veek for helping me with the recolorings. And thanks to Iquare for being Uquare. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye.